Standard 9th, Subject History, Chapter number 3, India's Internal Challenges. Trust between people is the basis of coexistence. If trust breaks, social unity reduces, it receives a blow. How can national unity be achieved without social unity? No. If we are not united within ourselves, we cannot stand united as a country. Hence, it is necessary that we all counter this. We all remove this communalism, religious communism from our society with all our strength. And for this, we should mix with people of different religions. The intolerance should not be there. We should accept the good practices and ideas of each other. We should learn from each other. We should be able to look at and understand our economic and social problems rationally, technically. We should not mix these questions with religion. All the social issues, they should never be mixed with religion. We should search for the economic, political, or historical reasons that are responsible for disturbing religious harmony, and we should work towards removing those reasons from the society. This is the only way to put an end to communalism and strengthen our national unity. Any problems, any issues, questions, doubts till now? Do you want me to take any paragraph once again till now? Any one of you? No. Okay. Moving on to the last subheading of regionalism. Regionalism means having excessive pride about one's region. If I am staying in Mumbai, if I am staying in Maharashtra, I am proud of being a Mumbaikar, I am proud of being a Maharashtrian. But if my pride spills over to people who are coming from other states, then is what the problem takes place. It starts. It is one thing to introduce oneself as a Bengali or a Marathi person, but if I think that because I am a Bengali or because I am a Marathi, I am superior to others and I am superior to people from other provinces, then this can be termed as excessive regional pride. The love for one's province turns morbid, turns lethal. It results in the death of the unity, death of the person, death of the society. And due to this kind of excessive regional pride, it is natural to feel love for one's province, but it should not become abnormal. Regionalism thrives on regional imbalance in development. If I come to know that Pune, for example, Pune is given more importance as far as development is concerned by the government, then I will feel that the government is doing partiality towards Pune and it is not taking care of Mumbai. So this is the basis of the imbalance in development, is the basis of regionalism. In post-independence period, some states achieved more progress, while some states remained backward. For example, states like Maharashtra, Gujarat, Punjab, Tamil Nadu developed economically, financially and industrially, whereas states like Odisha, Bihar, Assam remained undeveloped economically and undeveloped industrially. Economic development and reforms are the foundation of progress. Any particular state or an area needs economic development and reforms, change in the laws depending on the current situation. That becomes the foundation of progress. As a result, the states that develop economically, which are financially strong, can also achieve progress in other areas like education, health and culture. Why? Because when they are financially strong, they are able to invest in better education infrastructures, better health facilities and better development in the culture, better preservation of the culture. The states which have not developed in this manner remain backward in education as well as civic amenities, as well as the public amenities. The opportunities of development available to people in developed states are also not possible for people in backward states. That is why we have people who travel from the north states or the non-developed states to the states which are economically developed in search of job opportunities, in search of a better life. But in their states, these people from the backward states are harassed. Harassed by what? By problems of education. There are no better schools and colleges because of backwardness, because they are lagging behind, they don't have money to develop their state. Because of unemployment, since there are no industries, they do not have any job opportunities there. Because of poverty, when they don't have jobs, they don't have money to spend, they don't have money to eat 2 times proper food. Now they begin to think that they are being cheated. It is not the case, but it is normal human psychology that if someone else is having a better opportunity than me, I will start thinking that I have been cheated, I have been taken granted for. They begin to think that they are being kept away from the benefits of development. Because of this, the understanding between states is broken. Now the chief minister and the government machinery of a particular state, to show the public, starts distrusting the other states. This in turn has a negative impact on national unity. When the states cannot work together, national unity is broken. The economic imbalance that has endangered this understanding needs to be set right. The economic balance which has disturbed the understanding needs to be set right. Our government makes constant efforts in this direction. Regionalism can affect developed as well as undeveloped states. See, the negative effects of regionalism is on both the states, developed as well as undeveloped. How the people of developed states begin to believe that they are superior due to their superior history and culture, and hence they have developed that much. Then they begin to look down upon the people of underdeveloped region. People coming from these poor states, the people of the rich states start looking down upon them, that they are inferior. They are not willing to share the benefits of development with the people of the backward states. On the other hand, the people from the backward areas need to arouse their regional identity to organize themselves. They first need to start thinking about the pride that they should have in their own culture. For this, they try to unnecessarily glorify local tradition and culture to prove their uniqueness. Now they are trying to glorify their history, their culture. This leads to regionalism. When two states start fighting, when the people of two states start fighting about their own culture being superior, that starts leading to a problem. It endangers national unity because we are not together. We are not standing with each other. The evil of regionalism can be tackled by reducing the imbalance in development. This last statement, please understand, this does not mean that the money from the rich states should be taken and given to the backward areas. No. What this means is that more concentration should be given to the areas which are economically backward, which are lacking in development. More efforts need to be put in there. We have studied a few challenges that India is facing. These are only a few of the challenges. Apart from these, there are several problems like overpopulation, cleanliness, agriculture, and problems of the farmers, poverty, housing, and food. We are trying to overcome these and move forward. We are trying to become an advanced country, a developed country. We are still having a tag of being a developing country. We are progressing steadily, slowly but constantly. In the next chapter, we shall learn about progress in the economic field, how India has done economically. That we will be talking about in the next chapter. Anyone having any doubts, questions or issues till now can ask me right now. Now, Okay. I want you all to go through this chapter and answer the questions that are appearing at the end of the chapter. Until we meet next time, take care everyone. Take care. Bye-bye. Bye-bye.